What's up, film family? Welcome to the Film Room Podcast. My name is Scott,
My name's Dion.
and today Dion and I are getting married. But I have a terrible secret. Will he go through with it? That's the question.
No, I'm not
No?
going
Well, you don't
through
know
it.
the secret yet.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just the idea that we're getting married, but continue.
Oh, damn. Sorry, man. We're talking everything the drama with Zendaya, Robert Pattinson. Very excited to get into this new movie. We're going to be getting into the family meeting where we respond to internet comments. We're going to get into the deep dive where we give our thoughts and opinions, of course. We are going to finish the show with our 6 awards that we call the Filmmies. And first and foremost, we got to salute the general and give our general thoughts. General thoughts.
General thoughts.
Dion, man, what'd you think of the drama?
I loved it. I mean, I think it had one of the best hooks since like Weapons.
Yeah,
Of like
Weapons had
a hook of
great hook.
Yeah, Weapons had a crazy hook. It's like, okay, I need to see this movie because I need to know what happened. You know what I mean? I think I had a great hook with that. I think when I initially heard about this movie, it had all the recipe of like a A24 movie, which up and down, but A24 movie, we got two big actors, interesting hook. I need to see what's going on. So the anticipation was there, but my assumption is that it was gonna be more of like this I guess art house kind of drama-y thing, which I think was gonna be interesting, but I didn't expect it to have so much humor and so much fun to it. So that was like a nice flip that I didn't expect, which made me love it.
Yeah, that was my biggest point too. Really funny, and I mean, I expected it to be a rom com, but the dark
Mm.
humor did not
Yeah.
expect at all. Like it was really dark. I mean, even just the whole reveal of what actually happened. You're right. That was the hook of like, why is everything so awkward? That gets revealed to us like pretty early, earlier than I
Yeah.
expected it to be. Um, but yeah, that dark humor, like of you take a serious subject matter and have the tone be so light, but also dark at times. Like it was really interesting what they did with this. I liked it.
Yeah, and that was my exact thought. It was a perfect balance, and it made me wanted to watch his other films too. Like Dream Scenario was a movie that played at TIFF a couple years ago that I tried to see with Eloise, but we couldn't get tickets for. And
Mm.
then over time, I mean, I guess it just faded behind me. And I didn't realize until we watched this film and I was doing the research, like, oh, it's the same director that did Dream Scenario. I was like, that looked interesting to me. And people said, like, oh, yeah, the humor and the tone is great. Robert Pattinson said that he saw that movie and he was like, oh, I want to work with this guy. So I was like, okay, that's another
Oh.
reason. Now I really got to go back. If the tone is like similar, where he has like these cool balancing of these tones in the movie of I don't know what the tone is of that, but I'm assuming there's dark humor. I don't know what the other feeling is in it, but it just made me interested.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the something that really worked in this movie too was like it fit the feel of that tone was like just the overall direction. I feel like of the acting, like they're acting very normal. Like they're not talking perfectly. It's not like a more dramatic movie where you take your time and like soak up this scene where your character's thinking about something, and then you told me something, I'm gonna look away off into the distance, and then like there's just none of that dramatizing thing. They just acting like normal people. So it really like the darkness and all that stuff, it totally fits the humor too, when just like things are going wrong and they're like, wait, what did you say? Or like like everything, just the fact that everything felt so like grounded and normal, I think it really worked.
Yeah, that's always something that I find like really powerful of like a strong screenplay writer or just any kind of writer in general is like when you manage to make something that's clearly scripted just feels so real. It's like I just feel like I'm watching two people talking and like, oh, that's such a genuine reaction. Like that's probably
Mm.
how I'd react. Like the fact that the characters are conflicting too, where it's just like they kind of like they bounce back and forth, where it's like it's more real to have them act that way. I find that really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point. Like making something scripted feel normal. There actually is a few moments, like character decisions that where I would go against what you just said. Where I think some of
Okay.
them didn't make sense to me. That overall
Mm,
I liked it, but like there was a few moments, and I'll get into those
okay.
later in the episode. Some of the writing that I didn't love, but overall it was quite unpredictable, which was
Yeah.
really good. I think it was a little too long. I think it gets slows down a little bit in the middle. I think it could have
Mm,
shaved a little bit of time off of this to just make it move, run a little smoother. But overall, I really liked it.
That's interesting. I'm curious to hear your points about those because maybe I do agree because I do agree with that. But then also the runtime because it's not that long. It's only like an hour and 40.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much time. And then I also want to hear you talk about what part you'd shave off and like maybe what you would do to
I
change
think
it.
it could have been a clean like hour and a half. Like not, I'm not saying
Okay.
like cut the movie in half or anything, but like I think like when the reveal gets revealed, and then like right after that, there's spent a lot of time just like reacting to that, and I understand because it's a heavy thing that gets revealed,
Yeah.
and we'll get there. Don't worry, we're not just gonna dance around this. We will get into
Yeah.
the spoilers later, but um, yeah, when that happens, I think there's a little bit of that could have been shaved off.
Okay. That's fair. I'm interested to hear it. But with that being said,
With that being
I think it's
said,
time.
I think it's time to get into the
The
filmies.
family
Or
family meeting.
family meeting, not the filmies. That'll come later. Don't worry.
I don't have friends. I got family.
All right, family meeting time. So this is where I ask questions to the internet and we react to them. So on Instagram and Reddit, I actually asked the same question. I asked which Zendaya and Rob film should he go? Should he just go by Rob, like Zendaya?
Yeah. Yeah.
Robert,
I mean, I'm just gonna keep calling him Rob or
Rob.
Robert. I'm not, I don't. I feel like he's a two name guy, but for
Yeah.
this, I think we understand the context of who I'm talking about.
What do you think? What do you think makes a one name person? Obviously, I think your name has to be unique. Like Robert, if
Yeah,
you just like
that's a
that's just
big.
yeah, that's just too common. You need a unique name, but like Zendaya from the jump, I remember was like, no, I'm just Zendaya. Like I remember I saw a
Yeah.
clip of like she was in an interview and someone was like, oh, so I'm sitting here with, and she said Zendaya, and she said Zendaya, and she's like, nope, just Zendaya. And she's like, oh wow, okay. Like she was surprised by it, but now like it's just
Yeah,
that's just who she is.
and I think she's the only one standing right now in the
Mm.
at least the big names in the acting world. Everyone else is a two name, but other people you can go. Like I'm gonna do a quick example of this, then we'll get into the family meeting. But like Brad Pitt, people always say Brad Pitt. You don't
Mm-hmm.
just say Brad, obviously. You could say Pitt. I think people know what you're talking about. It just sounds kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could say Clooney. You could
Yeah.
say Leo, De
Yeah.
Niro, Pacino.
Yeah, there are a lot of. You're right. There are a lot of that you can do, but like on the poster, it has their full name. Like on the poster, she's just
Yeah,
Zendaya.
yeah, that's hard.
Yeah,
That's tough.
but yeah. So I asked which Zendaya and Rob film will be the best of the year because we got three of them coming up this year.
Yep.
We got the drama, the Odyssey, and Dune Part Three, with all three of them. And on Instagram, I just put up a poll. 0% said the drama. Ouch.
Mm.
Uh, but I mean, it's going up against some heavy hitters. So
Yeah.
29% gave it to the Odyssey and 71% gave it to Dune Part 3. So
Whew.
what do you think?
What in what aspect? Like what I think on the reaction, or what was my opinion?
I don't know. Give me both.
Okay. I'm not surprised. I mean, what's it called? Dune lovers. The Dune community is pretty strong. People love Dune.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I actually don't know what people's opinions are on the Odyssey in the sense of like I know people are excited for the Nolan movie because it's a Nolan movie, but I don't know if they're like excited about the plot as much as it's the third movie in a franchise. So it's like you're almost excited to see a conclusion of something versus like this is a Nolan movie that's existing as just like the singular film. So I feel like I understand why people would be more excited about the end of a trilogy if it ends here versus just
Mm-hmm.
seeing a singular film.
But the other thing that works for the Odyssey in this case is that it's a beloved story. Like a lot of people know what the story is. Some people don't. But you're right. Nolan,
Mm.
his name obviously has a lot of gravitas to it. But like the story, so you're right. Like Dune, we kind of know what the story is leading up to this. So we kind of have a feel for what the tone is and what the, even though this one is actually supposed to go like pretty far left from the other stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see kind of what that is, but we at least know what we're getting into a little bit. The Odyssey, the same thing, actually, even though it is its own singular thing, we still know what the story is. Obviously there's a different angle you can take with it. You can introduce different characters and stuff, but I was I wasn't really surprised. I mean, 0%
Mhm.
kind of hurts for the drama, but because I was
I mean, it's
excited
not
for
a
this movie.
franchise. Well, Nolan himself is a franchise.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, true.
Yeah, if there's not that many people that can make $1 billion off a biopic.
A biopic. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
that's a
think
good point.
anybody really can actually. I think that's a one of one
I
trait
don't know.
that I don't think anyone
This
will.
Michael biopic's probably gonna make 1 billion.
Maybe we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So Reddit. I mean, that's funny because you. Or actually, before I get to Reddit, I'm gonna shout out our boy Kobe. No relation.
Okay.
He gave me a prediction. He was asking if we're doing this episode this week, and we are. Here you go, Kobe. He said, "I predict my love and admiration for Zendaya is only going to grow stronger after this movie." He said, "Also, a part of me thinks they might have killed someone, but I also feel like that's what they want us to believe." So he's not
Mm.
sure. Did you ever predict? Like, what did you think going in was gonna be the thing?
I mean, my prediction was kind of boring. Like I assumed it was some kind of like an affair
Mm,
or something to do with like relationship based, which could be interesting. I didn't. I was like, it has to be something big. So like, I still think something in a relationship, like something you did in a past relationship, could have been the reveal.
mm,
But I just didn't know what it was going to be. But I was leaning towards that. It's gonna be like, oh, in my past relationship, I did this. That's what I assumed
hmm
it was going to be. What about you?
Yeah, I almost didn't even have a prediction. I didn't think it was an affair because like in the trailer, so in the trailer it's basically like the photography scene, right? And so we see them being awkward with each other, but it doesn't really seem like one of them's mad at the other. And I feel like it was if it was an affair, it'd be more kind of that. Like one person would be mad at the person that did that. It was more just kind of like awkward. So I was like, maybe they so like his prediction of like they might have killed someone together. That'd be
Mhm.
interesting. You know, like
Yeah.
something happened and they killed someone by accident or something and they have to hide the body and now they're just like really it's just weird. That's a good that's an interesting prediction.
No, I think it is really interesting. I think more so with mine, I was thinking that it'd be more so an affair story. Not one of them had an affair on each other, like had an affair like within this relationship. It would have been like, oh, what's the worst thing you ever done? Which I didn't know that was gonna be the hook. But
Mm,
oh, I did this in a past relationship. Like I cheated on this person, and it was like an extreme thing that happened. It's like, whoa, like
okay.
I dated someone that did that. Like I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be something like that, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh so over to Reddit and that's what I was saying. It was interesting that you were like, you know, I'm interested to see like what people actually think about the Odyssey because a lot of people are pretty hesitant on the Odyssey to be honest in
Mm.
that post. Like they're saying, so I'll shout out No Worth who said probably Dune Part 3. I'm expecting the drama to be good, not great, and I have extremely low expectations for the Odyssey.
Mm.
It just doesn't seem like a story or setting that'll be a good fit for Nolan. I think I think that's an interesting point because I mean we mostly seen him do like future sci-fi or modern stuff. I mean, we have seen him do Oppenheimer, The Prestige, Dunkirk. Like we have seen him do period pieces, so it's not like he
Hmm.
can't do that. This is Greek mythology though, so it's different than like
Yeah.
a world war or like England in the 1800s or whenever it is with the Prestige, but I think he'll bring his like grounded and gritty approach to it. And I think he'll more focus on like characters rather than like crazy wild creatures. They're still going to be in there, but like I just think the focus of the story will be a little more into the characters and the journey. And we're obviously going to get some awesome set pieces and visuals and stuff. But I still think he can do it. I understand the hesitancy, but I think he can do it.
Yeah. First of all, No Worth. It's it's an interesting name.
Hey, it's his name. What do you want
I
me to
hope
say?
you're okay, bro. I hope you have
Yeah,
worth.
you have worth.
You
You
have
have
worth,
worth.
bro. Like you have. And second, I understand the hesitancy with him having that kind of movie, but like, don't put him in a box, yo. Like people probably said that when Tarantino was gonna make a war movie. They're like, just make your crime movies over there, bro. Like
Mm,
they like to play around. I think they're those kind of guys that look at like what Kubrick did, like Stanley Kubrick, and how he like jumped around. Like, okay, well, okay, I got to do a war movie. I got to do a space movie. like Nolan's been following the Kubrick like playbook of that
The
sense. Like
blueprint.
he's like, because he even mentions like 2001 Space Odyssey was like his inspiration, like a lot of people's inspiration if you're gonna make a space movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, the biopic I was thinking too. I was like, oh, you just been sticking around with the sci-fi stuff. Like, can you do a biopic? He proved he can do a biopic. So now I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna put. He did a war movie. I'm not gonna put him in a box anymore. He's done he's been checking them off. The
Mm-hmm.
thing that him and Tarantino need to do, which I've heard them say, I was like, let's see it. They need to do a horror movie. I'll see if they're really about it. I don't know if they actually mean it that they said they want to do one. Like, but
Yeah,
I got faith in the sense of like I'm not putting him in a box like that. He could do it.
I think. Yeah, no, I think he could do it too. I mean, some people were making the point that like the Odyssey as a story is like this big, grand, bright epic, and they almost don't want a more grounded and gritty feel to it, which I feel like I can understand. But like your expectation of what you think the story is different than Christopher Nolan's take on the story, right? So like everyone approach it if they read a book, right? You're visualizing things differently. You're kind of taking things a little bit differently. So like, and he's proven that he's an absolute master at executing. So like whatever his vision is, it's gonna be done well. You might not like that angle that he takes with it as much, but it's gonna be well done. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty much a given.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Next I'm gonna shout out Kid Thunder. He said the Odyssey, he thinks is gonna be the best, but their performances, Rob and Zendaya, will probably be the most impressive in the drama. Terrific acting from both of them. I could see that because one, they're the leads of this movie. Like the Odyssey and Dune are just such massive movies and huge casts that like I don't think either of them are gonna have massive parts in the movie. Dune, the Zendaya at least will have a pretty big part, I think, but like still not as much as this one. And the acting from both of them, to me, like they were good in this movie. Nothing really like jumped off the page to me from them, but I can also attribute that to what I was saying in the general thoughts about like just the overall direction of acting really like normal and grounded. So maybe it's not supposed to jump off the page. So that's kind of why it works. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that that always is like that fine line to where people, or sometimes you watch a movie and be like, yeah, the acting was good in that because like they were just being like regular people. But I feel like in that sense, it's like I don't know if they are these people though. We don't really know them in real life, so they could have been acting like very left to way how they usually are. So then it's just like if you don't know a person, it's like okay, well maybe he's not. Maybe he's a lot like that. I think their acting was honestly pretty good because it just felt like they were being normal people. I don't know if they are these people, so that was just like a close like, oh, it's being myself, where it's like I'm not really this person. So then they're actually taking a huge leap,
Right.
but I don't know them in real life.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think they deserve credit because you're right. Like it's easy to like grab onto this role that's super dramatic and you can like chew up with these scenes and like really like almost look into the audience eyes and be like, look at what I'm doing in this performance versus a performance like this where the direction is so just like, no, just be normal, just be cool. You know what I mean? So like you almost don't get the credit as much. So you're right, it is a leap, but at the end of the day, I guess I'm just a noob, and like that's what it is. I'm like hey, there's nothing jumped off the page, and like I don't think it's
fine.
supposed to. Which is it's just interesting that like it's not supposed to, but it didn't. So, like if something's not supposed to be great and it's not, does that mean it's great? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No, that's true. It's
weird.
like it's like you make it look so easy, but it actually isn't easy. But it's just because
You're
how
right.
good they are.
That's
Kind
true.
of thing. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the family meeting. So let's get into the drama. Our thoughts on the drama. I love the start of this movie. I think like the whole construct of like they're both thinking of stories for their wedding speech, so we can like they're remembering these stories, but we can see them as they're happening. So it's like a narrated like exposition dump, but it doesn't feel like that. It's such a creative way that we learn so much about their characters in such a short time, but it doesn't feel like we're just getting dumped information. I really like that.
Yeah, that was actually a point of like I know we're out of the family meeting, but it still kind of ties into like even what we were just talking about. Where like I think out of those three movies and bringing it back to this
Mm,
movie, I think it's gonna be the most stylish in the sense of like it's taking the most because I feel like the Odyssey and I could be wrong,
mhm.
and Dune will be very straightforward in their style. They'll look great and they'll sound great. But I think this movie has like a style to it that's just like, oh, I actually haven't seen that in a while or at all really, where it's kind of like this balance of getting these flashbacks that did happen, and then also characters are kind of like Robert Pattinson's characters imagining things that aren't there, and you're
Yeah.
seeing what's in his head play out. And we're
Mhm.
like, oh, that wasn't real. So it's like playing around with that, and then sometimes scenes happen, for example, like where he gets headbutted, but we don't see it. We
Mm,
see the aftermath. And then we come
mhm.
back to it and then we see it. And then we go back forward where it's like, that's just like a cool style in itself where it's like, oh, I'm not used to seeing movies like that. You wouldn't like something's leading up to something big and then you just don't show it to us. And then you show it to us 5 minutes later where it's like, oh, that's a cool choice. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree with you. I think that's super well done in this movie. It's just a way to like kind of just have a little more fun with it. Like at the end of the day, movies are just supposed to be entertaining, right? So like if you could just tell the story in a linear fashion, and I don't know how you would visual like in a movie medium because without a narrator, how you would explain how someone's visualizing something, like when he's visualizing her like holding a gun, or she's visualizing him like leaving her or anything like that.
Mm,
But you're right, that stuff is just really fun. And I think um Kristoffer Borgli, the writer director,
mm.
deserves a lot of credit for that, because when you're jumping around like that so much, you can really easily get really messy. You know what I mean? And be like,
Yeah.
wait, where are we? Is this real? What do we think? But like, it was always pretty clear. Like, I thought I never was really lost of like, wait, is this happening or is this not happening? I thought it was pretty clear that like, this is real, this is fake, or this didn't happen yet. This is what happened 5 minutes ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's all this jumping around, but I thought it was actually still pretty seamless.
Yeah, no, yeah, it definitely get confusing where it's not like we were living in these long scenes that were like a little bit in the past, or they weren't that long ago where it's like they look the same, but it's like, wait, did we just jump back into the past, or are we in a new scene now? Like, because they look kind of the same. Like, it was very clear when it was like a flashback, and then we'd come back into present time, and it never got jumbled.
Yeah, some of that might also just be kind of like the absurdity of the things, like when they're just visualizing stuff,
Mm,
like when Emma, which is Zendaya's character, is imagining Charlie talking to Mike, which is his friend, like his friend that he's like, oh man, you should just leave, man. Don't worry, just get out of here. Just go home. I'll call the police, man. I'll beat her up. Don't worry, like I'll take her out. So like as soon as you add that in, you're like, okay, this isn't real. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you cut back to her, and it's just like a close up of her face thinking. So we're like, okay, she was just imagining that. Like just tiny little things like that that make it so obvious that it's not real, but it's in a way that like that you're not just telling us that. Like we can learn it, we can accept that just based on those little aspects. So good.
Yeah, which took me out too because like not took me out of the movie, but took me out like I was laughing where I was like,
Yeah.
wait, is this real? And did he really say that? Then once he said the I'll beat her up and then it flashed to her, I was like, okay, I'm like, that's crazy. What's going on over here? But that kind
Yeah.
of set the tone of how ridiculous it would continue to be as the movie went forward.
Yeah. And I so I think it's hard to talk about the rest of the movie and like the aspects of it, like without getting into the spoilers. So I'll
So
give a
yeah, let's just get into it.
spoiler warning. We're going to spoil what the reveal is. So let's get into that scene. Like, it is not what I expected. I mean, like I said, I didn't really have a
Mm,
prediction going in, but I just find it so interesting that they take such a serious subject matter and very current. Like, this is an ongoing problem, especially in the States, but and just keep this funny tone around it. Like, young Emma is making the videos like, oh, Sadie, you're getting killed first, 100%. Like, I'm taking you out
yeah.
first, and then everybody don't come to, and then the webcam just cuts, and then she's like, oh
Yeah.
snap, I got to do it again. Like, hilarious, but like this is such a dark thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know what your reception was like in your theater. Like, were people laughing at those things, or were people uncomfortable? Like
Yeah, no, people were
uncomfortable.
laughing.
Okay, because sometimes you get those where people are like, "Ah, should we laugh at this?" Like, I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of become like a thing sometimes. But like, people were dying
There were
at
no
that in
Rachels.
my
There were
theater.
no Rachels in my theater.
No, there was not. No, those are in mine. Like, people were dying in the theater. But it's such a. I think it helps too. Like, not saying that someone from this from America or Canada could do this, but the director being Norwegian too is such another nice element, because you also get that outward perspective
Mm.
where he's not from here, so then he kind of like looks at the culture of like mass shootings in a different way. I'm sure that I can't say it for sure. I was gonna say I'm sure there's not that many. I'm sure there's not that many mass shootings in Norway.
Compared to the U.S., nobody
No.
has
Yeah,
a lot
no.
of mass shootings.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But yeah, no, it's just interesting, yeah, to have such a serious topic and being able to add that humor throughout. And I feel like it's a tough thing to do, but weirdly enough, it was done so well.
Yeah, yeah, it totally worked. Like Mike, that scene in general though, like so they started off. It's such a great writing device. Like Rachel or Charlie and Emma are walking and they see their DJ that it's smoking heroin, right? So they're like, so this is just, it's just kind of a funny thing that feels inconsequential, because at the end of the day, the only thing that comes from that is they swap DJs, and that
Mhm.
doesn't really make a big difference in the story. But what it means is that like when this scene happens, when they're at the rehearsal dinner, they're like taste testing or whatever, they can talk about this and be like, oh well, that's not that bad. What's the worst thing you ever did? And it
Mhm.
totally makes sense, right? So it's perfect setup to get this reveal going. And then they say, Mike is like, oh, I what was his thing?
Mike
He
was the dog. They were in
oh
Mexico,
yeah.
which is kind of funny because we were just in Mexico. Went
And
down
he
a dark alley,
yeah,
and there was a
human
dog that
shield.
was. Yeah, he used his girlfriend as a human shield against the dog, which is crazy.
Which is crazy,
Crazy
but
work.
like when you listen to that, I'm like, okay, that's whatever. That's really not that bad.
I don't know, because I was thinking that too, but that's pretty crazy. Because we would never do that. It's
No.
insane.
But I mean, it's not like it's nowhere near what Emma did.
No, it's not.
Well, almost did.
But yeah, true. Which again, is it then? Because it's an almost. So it
True.
is. It is pretty bad.
Yeah. Rachel's was kind of crazy. Yeah, I just locked this slow kid in the closet, and then like she had all these opportunities to like let him out, and she was just like, I just didn't want to get in trouble. They found him though. He's fine. They found him.
Yeah, which is that's a nice little point too, because even her just saying like, "Oh yeah, he was kind of slow," is like this little slow point. So like, wait, was he? You were saying kinda, and then when Charlie brings it back later, you locked a mentally disabled kid. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I never said, it's like you said he was slow.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like that little thing, which is like kind of slow. It's like no, 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 no. We're holding on to that because that
Yeah.
is a big part of it, which makes your story even crazier that you did that.
And I just love anytime there's any pushback on Rachel, I love it because Rachel sucks, man.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my gosh,
know.
my cousin is in a wheelchair because of a shooting. How is that Emma's fault in the slightest? What does that
No.
have anything to do with Emma at all? Like, there's just the whole time, like, what are you talking about? Mike, you grew up around guns and you hate guns now. It's like, and he's like, no, I didn't. To me, I was like, you just say that because he's black? Like, what the hell, Rich?
That's what I was thinking too. It's like you grew up in the hood, right? It's like I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm from Canada, actually.
Yeah, Rachel sucks, dude.
Oh yeah,
Like,
she does suck.
but when she gets, but so I find it so interesting though, because like she's not really sh- displayed to us as like a bad character, let's say. Like there's
Mhm.
not a moment or a line in the movie that like she does something unredeemable where the movie's telling us like this is a bad guy, like this is a bad character, you know what I mean? Like you're supposed to not like this person, which is great. Like the movie is just like, no, I'm just going to tell the story and you feel what you want to feel. But like I just feel like most movies would take that character and everybody like she sucks, and the movie would tell you like that you're not supposed to like this person, but it doesn't really do that. Like it could have been in her wedding speech, right? She totally like outs Emma and like ruins the whole wedding, and then we'd be like, okay, no, you suck, like you're a terrible character. No, she's like, okay, she kind of puts her little passive aggressive things in there, and like still throws in some stuff, but like the movie's just like, no, this is the character, this is what she thinks, this is what she is. Feel how you want to feel, and the way I feel is that she sucks.
Yeah, no, she does suck. And Mike definitely shouldn't let her still do her speech. They just call a veto on it. You know, it's like, actually, no, like you guys can see, like, she had a little too many. She's not going to do a speech today. It's just going to be me. We'll move on. Like, not everyone's going to be like, oh, the maid of honor's not going to do a speech. Wedding ruined. It's like, no, she's not. She's a little too drunk. This might get a little too wild. So, but to your point, though, I feel like it was a perfect balance of giving her a reason, because as far as we say, there's nothing to do with Emma, but you can empathize that, okay, let's just enter her family. I have this cousin that was in this horrible event. She happened to survive, but like the whole family had to deal with it. Her friends probably passed in the shooting, whatever. So it's like that was like a big deal in that family's life. So anything to do with mass shootings is just going to be a triggering thing. So at least she has that as like, okay, that's like at least a thing that she has a reason, like a strong reason to be upset about it. But they also balance it with having it, well, you actually did something pretty horrible. Not only did you lock a kid in a closet where it's just like, oh, it seems like a funny thing. You didn't tell anybody. When there was a search party, the minimum thing you could have done is, oh, well, I did see him in the forest. I can at least put them in the right direction. Because what if they never found him? You're lucky they found him. He could have never been found, suffocated, and died. But you didn't even try to give them a hint of where he was. You just kept your mouth shut. That's crazy.
True. And then Emma could be like, I have a cousin that died in a closet, so fuck you. I hate you too. And you know what I mean? Even though she's like, well, I didn't lock them in the closet, so it has nothing to do with it. But according to Rachel's logic, that's enough to cut your friend off and be horrible.
Exactly.
But that is a good point. You're right. If they didn't find that kid, she could have been lying. Maybe he's not alive.
That's what I'm saying. I also like too how Charlie's story never really gets told. That's just like a fun little.
He just avoided it.
Brushes it off.
Weasel. He's like, oh, I don't have anything. I don't know. What about you, Emma? What, did you ever plan a mass shooting or anything? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, did he actually cyberbully anybody? Like, did he cyberbully someone so bad that they had to leave school? Is that actually true? Because that's pretty wild too, if that's the case. But he kind of brushed it off so much, which is fine. But it just makes you wonder, like, did he really do the worst thing? And he just found a way to.
He does his worst thing later.
Yeah, exactly. That is true. That is a good point,
I guess. Yeah, I mean, that scene, it's a long scene, but I think it's interesting too. It's like a subtle thing that they do because Emma's clearly really drunk. Like we see afterwards, like she's throwing up and everything, right? So like she says how drunk she is, but like even right before she's letting this reveal go, just when they're at the dinner table, like they order that second and third bottle of wine. And I think it's great drunk acting too, because a lot of times, credit to what I was saying, just like kind of the realness of the acting performance is not like in a more dramatic movie, you know, you'd be kind of stumbling around, like hiccuping, or you know what I mean? Like you'd be very clearly like showing that you're drunk, but like when you're actually drunk, you're not doing that. I remember I read, I don't know if it was an acting coach or like an actor or someone that was like an actor that's sober trying to show people they're drunk is the opposite of what like an actual drunk person is trying to convince someone they're not drunk. So like it's such a hard thing to act to seem normal. But shout out to Zendaya. I thought she actually did it well. Like she seemed like she was drunk, but not over the top with it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like, it is an interesting thing too, because like to get onto the actual topic of her planning it, but not actually doing it, where you empathize with Charlie's character, because you're thinking like, okay, like I assume you're a changed person because this is so long ago, but you also lied to me about it. Like this is the first time I'm hearing about it, and this is like a pretty big thing. So it's like it's these mixed emotions of like, I'm saying, yeah, obviously I could tell me that on the first date.
Yeah,
that's our first date conversation. But like we're getting married. When is that going to come up? Is that like you live, like you take that to your grave? I guess basically what I'm asking you is kind of like your opinion on it.
Like what would I do? Yeah. Um, I mean, it's hard. It's a hard thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, right? Like, I definitely would empathize way more than like Rachel. I definitely wouldn't be like, oh, screw you. And like, I understand that afterwards it takes time to process this, and this is why I was saying like it slows down a little bit for me after
Mhm.
this. But I understand that like you wouldn't just like quickly get past this. Like they have their struggle. Like they're gonna have sex and he can't get it up, doesn't
Yeah.
work. So like he's clearly thinking about this. He throws out the mug and like they have this whole all these arguments and everything. I think like maybe the mug thing is something that's like that I don't know if I really need to see that necessarily, but just like a
Mhm.
few little things that could have been shaved off in that time. But like overall, like like I feel like I could say I'd be able to get past it because, like you say, it was a long time ago, and he only knows her from when he met her, and like I'm
Yeah.
assuming that if there was some crazy red flag well during their time that they were dating, then he that would be like whoa, like maybe you would step back and rethink things. So I'm assuming nothing like that happened. So I'm assuming she's a changed person. So if I know her from when I met her till now and I haven't seen any crazy outbursts or any thoughts of guns or anything like that, then like why would I assume she's ever going to go back to the way she was? But
Yeah.
if that were actually happen in real life, it's totally different than me just imagining it, right?
Yeah. What I think is such a fun thing about the movie, because like me and Eloise walked to that movie theater, and it opened up it opened up so many discussions, which was kind of fun, just like to play, like just to play fantasy of like what would you do if you were in this world. I definitely think it's a different question, guy versus girl. I think a girl
Mm.
would be like, yeah, I'm getting out of here, more than a guy. A guy, for whatever reason, I don't know if you agree with that, but I feel like for whatever reason,
Hmm.
it's a little harder
I feel like
to get past it.
in most cases, like a if it was just like violence in general, like this person had was very violent in their past, and like I'm the guy, and like the girl, she was very violent in her past. You're right; it's a little easier to get past because in a scenario where she wants to get violent with me, I have an advantage. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Versus the other way around. Like if this guy was crazy, and if that pops off again, like he's just gonna kill me, and I have no
yeah,
defense. You know what I mean? So, but in the context of a gun, it doesn't really matter if you're a girl or a guy. Like
no,
what? Even if I'm stronger than you, you just shoot me. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think it'd be more concerning if in the situation, like Emma was still like a gun. And I was like, oh, I feel comfortable if we have a gun in the house, and he was like, yeah, I guess so,
That would
whatever.
change things.
And then this comes up, then he'd be like, okay, maybe that's a.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect balance too of the period of time, because it's like at this point it's been 15 years. And then it also makes sense because they've only been together for 2 years. So it's like a lot of things can happen in 2 years, but there's still so much of like a whole, you're not going to get everything of that person's life in the 2 years
Hmm.
you've known each other. Because especially that first year, it's really just getting to like the little basic stuff. The second year gets a little deeper, but it's enough time where it's like it's realistic of like, okay, I guess that probably wouldn't come up because how'd you get deaf? Oh, I was born with it, and you move past it. There's not that much digging that's going to be happening. You just move on from that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when when that first gets revealed, like at the very start, like with their first meeting, where she's not hearing him because she's deaf, and I was like, okay, this is obviously coming back, and we learn it's because of the gun thing. I almost thought it was gonna come back in another way, like a climactic way, almost where like for whatever reason, maybe she's covering one side of her head, or like she's lying on the floor, so like her one ear that works is blocked. So he's like yelling like Emma, like move, like you're about to get hit by a car or something, and she doesn't hear him. Like I just
Mm,
imagined it was gonna come back in some big climactic way, and it didn't. It's just kind of like a secret of like this isn't the cause of this isn't actually just that she was born with it. But I was almost expecting that to come back.
yeah, it's interesting. I actually
Oh,
didn't expect it. I thought it was just gonna be like a trait of this character
hmm.
for whatever reason. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, there's. I love when a movie subverts my expectations, so it's not a bad thing that it didn't
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back in a big climactic way. It's just I don't know when that happened. I was like, this is this is obviously something, right? Like you wouldn't write that into a script that someone is deaf in one ear if that there's no reason for it, right? And I'm not saying there
That is
isn't,
true.
but it is a little thing. And I like that first meeting, just the setup for like, do you want to start this over? And then
Yeah.
not only like in most of those cases where it's like you want to start over, he'll be like, okay, like take a deep breath and be like, hey, I'm Charlie. No, he actually goes back and sits down at the table.
Which I don't think she expected that. I think
Hilarious.
she's like, oh, okay, he's starting over. Okay.
Like fully, like imagine he leaves the coffee shop and everything. Like that was funny.
No, that was funny. Yeah, there's so many funny parts in this movie
Yeah,
that actually killed me.
we're gonna get to more of that. Actually, my next point is the photo shoot scene that we saw in the
Oh my
trailer. Like this was
goodness.
hilarious too. Like right after this, she'd be like, okay, so I'll shoot you, and then I'll
Yeah.
shoot you, and then I'm gonna shoot then I'm gonna shoot your mom, and then we're gonna get grandpa. And then he's like, no, actually I'm not sure if my grandparents will be okay, so shooting grandparents TBD. Okay, we'll see what it is. Just hilarious. And like the flashes that sound like gunshots every
Oh
time,
my
just
gosh. Yeah,
hilarious.
the gun humor was just so, even just there's a big laugh that came in my theater too, of like there's the picture of her showing off like the ring, right? But then now
Yeah,
like the context almost seems like a gun. So even if they
yeah.
flash up for a second, everyone was just laughing. They're like, "Oh my god!" Like everything's a gun. Every everything's a gun.
Then he
Oh
gets this
my god.
gun girl like book on his desk. Was that just a horrible
Yeah,
coincidence, or did someone
I
freaking
don't
plant that,
know.
or what happened? That was Rachel. Maybe it was Rachel.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mike's fucking with them, but you went Rachel because we hate Rachel. So
Yeah,
everything's
exactly.
Rachel.
Everything bad, I'm just gonna give to Rachel. She sucks.
Yeah.
And it did the photo shoot too. Then they're doing the smile. Okay, just smile like normal, like you would. Just smile.
Like you would in real life.
Just like
Yeah.
just her little mannerisms as they were talking was so good. That was a
Oh
hilarious
yeah,
scene.
absolutely hilarious. And it's just like she's like, remember, you guys are getting married. You remember you like each other. It's just keep going and going. It's
Yeah.
just no, that was a great scene. There was another thing that made me really laugh too. Is the knife scene too? It's like a
Oh
very
yeah.
small thing of like, it's like, you think I came up here to stab you, to kill you? He's like, no, you just scared me. Like it's just a human response. And her going up and just doing
Oh yeah.
that was hilarious.
Yeah, that
Man.
was
Oh
good.
my gosh.
So that yeah, then they go to like the flower shop, and then we just get a whole lot more of them like arguing and kind of like working through this. And like some of this I thought was a little, because I to me what I didn't like as much about this was that it didn't evolve. Like it showed kind of like, okay, there's a lot of time passing to process this, which is normal. This is a bomb that she just dropped, right?
Mhm.
Like you're not just going to move past it quickly. But I think for movie pacing wise, you could like cut a couple days, so like okay, he's still spent time processing this. We don't have to see all of it, because like he comes out the other side and he's still kind of at the same place where he started with it, where he's like, I don't really know how to feel about this. Like he has this conversation with Mike and Rachel, and he's defending Emma,
Mhm.
but he's not like, okay, like it's fine, like whatever she did, like I'm totally okay with it now. He's still kind of like on the fence about it. So to me, like all this stuff in between, I'm like, he didn't actually change. Like we saw this
Mhm.
happening, but nothing actually really evolved from it.
Well, what was the specific points? You said like there's 2 points. You said the flower shop. What was the other thing that?
Well, no, the other thing was like a character decision that I didn't like, that I'll get to, which is
Okay.
something different. So
Well,
I just
what
think
with the flower shop specifically? Like, would you
no, no,
just
no. I
take it
like the
completely?
flower shop. I like the
Okay,
it's
you
after
like the
that.
flower shop.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay, it's
after kind of
after.
when they're at home, like arguing with each other. Like I don't know. Like I like the scene where like they try to have sex and they can't. Like it just
Mm,
that just makes sense. I think that just shows that he's still processing this. Or I feel like there was maybe it just started to move a little bit slowly. Maybe it's just like a little minute here, a little minute here, just like insert
okay.
shots, like just little things. It's not like a scene necessarily that I would cut, or like the mug, maybe that, like the mug never really came back that much. Like that's a little
Mm,
thing that I don't think could have been needed to be super necessary. And it's really a small thing. I just like for a little moment there, I was feeling a bit of runtime.
yeah. No, that's fair. And I guess with the mug thing, again, it's just adding another layer, just another layer of saying that he's not okay with this. Like all little things are bothering him. Like he can't even look at guns. Like this is how extreme it's getting. And she even earlier kind of teased this by saying that like you over fixate on things, and
Yeah.
we're just basically seeing the crash out of Charlie.
Yeah.
That's what the movie is, just Charlie
Right.
crashing out.
You're right. But I think the fact, okay, so we have the mug, we have the sex scene, we have him looking at the books, like the girls and the guns in the books. We have, like you said, the knife scene, like with the
The
smoothie.
photo
Like we have
shoot.
like so we have so many of these. I'm just like, do we need all of them? Like I
Yeah.
get that. I get what he's going through right now. I understand he's processing this. Do we need another one and another one and another one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true. And I guess the only thing that what was the knife scene after the mug?
Um, Good question. No, I
Because
think
then
I
it's
think
also
he
this.
throws out the mug and then he goes upstairs. Then she sees the mug after. I think it's kind of in the
Okay.
middle of it.
Because then she goes to make the smoothie, like she was cutting up things, and then
Yeah.
they ended up drinking that smoothie. I was trying to figure if the reason it was like a laugh point, like was that in there just like to
Mm.
build to a laugh? Like I'm sure like you structure a movie like where we're gonna have our laughs, where we're gonna have our serious moments. So I wonder if like that was kind of the structuring of that. But I actually don't specifically remember the ordering of if that mug thing was a build to a laugh or if that was just another point. Because then in that point, then I would agree with you that if it didn't lead to some kind of laugh or something like that, then maybe it could have been taken up. But I don't actually remember the order.
I think I think he throws out the mug and then when she sees it, she's like, "Oh, why'd you throw out this mug?" He's like, "I don't know. There was a chip in it." And she's like, "No, it's not a chip in it. This is just means you have a problem with this." And I'm like, "Yeah, we can see that. Like that's obvious." So like,
Mm.
I don't I don't
Not to
think it
her, I
leads.
guess. So I think that's what it is. Because
Mm.
we know he's struggling with it, but he keeps acting like he's fine with it to her.
But she knows him. She's about to marry this guy. You could tell that he's acting different.
But at least this is
We
this is
could
the
tell
first
that.
evidence she's got. Where it's like, okay, this is clear. Like like you can keep lying to me, but like, no, it's okay. I'm just tired. People constantly like, oh, it's fine, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
all right. But then if you actually see the thing where it's like, okay, no, this is actually bothering me. Like I see the text message of you saying like I'm cheesed or like this.
Mhm.
You see her seeing the mug is her being like, okay, here's my physical proof. Stop telling me things are fine. You throw out a random mug that has a
Well,
gun
that
on
could
it.
have been the sex scene.
Yeah,
That's
no, that's
that's
true.
that's physical evidence that he's not
Yeah,
fine. You know what I mean?
that is true.
So like I don't know. I mean, as we're discussing it, maybe it's just me, but like I feel like
No, it's
there
not.
maybe could have
Yeah,
been a little bit shaved off in that time.
that's fair. And then what was your character? It was a character choice or a
Um
character did
so
something?
it's the scene with Misha. So
Okay.
Charlie, like when they're eating lunch, right? And he's like, "Okay, so what's the worst thing you ever did?" And like, "Oh, you're dating your boyfriend and you cheated on him and he did this and she's just answering them all like with no hesitation. To me, I was just like, why is she like he's asking her super personal questions. She's never like if someone asks you what's the worst thing you did, like I cheated on someone and then this happened and I feel like I'd be like, why are you asking me this? Or
Mm,
like I just wouldn't just no hesitation be like, yeah, I cheated on this person and this happened. And like, and maybe like saw them interact once. Like he kind of was like, hey, did you put this book on my desk? And she's like, no. So we understand that they have a pre-existing relationship, but it's not like they're
mhm.
best friends. Like if you ask your best friend, hey man, what's the worst thing you ever did? That could
Yeah.
just be a conversation thing. But I didn't feel like they had that kind of relationship. So that was just a little weird to me. And then like he flips out and then kisses her and like it just why did he do that? Like it sets up more conflict for the wedding, which is great. All of the wedding is just
Mhm.
fireworks. But to
Yeah.
me, like that decision just didn't really make a ton of sense to me.
You mean more so like on the writing of that character?
Of yeah,
Of
like
like just that scene basically.
why would Misha just answer that no hesitation, and then why would Charlie? Obviously, he's going through it, but like him kissing her just felt out of character.
Yeah. No, that is fair. Like I feel like that moment I just kind of accepted because to your point, they never really established much of a strong relationship between the two of them. It was established that they have a relationship. But yeah, you asking someone those kind of questions would feel like, oh, this is like a close friend. But up until that point, like we didn't really, okay, are they close friends? Okay, well, they're going
Mm-hmm.
into it. So I just kind of accepted it. But you do make a good point where it's like, yeah, those are pretty personal questions with not much pushback. Like she does feel a little uncomfortable. And it's not like she just straight up like she's like, okay, I guess like yeah, I kind of did this, and then oh well, I guess it depends. Like she's thinking about like that. It's not like there's no hesitation,
Mm-hmm.
but and then his decision to kiss her and stuff like that. Like I associate it just to the crash out. Like this guy's been crashing
Yeah.
out throughout the whole movie. Like he's just probably sleep deprived, and he's just I don't know why he would do that, but
Yeah. The only thing that, because I was talking to, well, I went to see this movie with Alexis, and on the way home, I was telling her this point, like I don't know, that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. The only thing that I thought of when we were talking was like we saw the sex scene before with Emma, and they don't have sex. He can't get it up, right? He's like, no, this
mm,
isn't. I can't do it. And then they try to, okay, let's start over, and he's like, no,
mhm.
it's not working. It's not good enough. So because of he knows what she did, right? And her response to it, she's not super apologetic about it. She's kind of like, it happened, like it is what it is. And but then when he asked Misha, like, what would you do if your boyfriend planned a mass shooting and didn't go through with it? And she'd be like, I don't know, like I'd call the police. So like to me, I was like, okay, maybe the fact that he's like she shares the same kind of opinion as me, that like maybe I should do something about this, is like a little bit of that connection. Like I can't do it with Emma right now because I don't agree with her on how she's reacting to this. I agree with Misha on how she's reacting to this. So that's like a form of attraction during this crash out. But like that's the only thing I could really pin to it.
Yeah, and I feel like that is a good connector. So that
Maybe.
honestly could be it. Because yeah, I was kind of racking my brain too, where it's just like he's just not in the right state of mind. Like he's just like I don't. Yeah, he's like I
Mm-hmm.
can't connect with Emma. Did it? I can connect with you, and then wait, why did I just do that? Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
But
know.
like, because you made the point in the general thought saying like there a lot of the decisions people make, you're like, yeah, like that's what you would do in this situation. So it makes it very easy to watch the movie and suspend belief because you're just believing what people are doing. It's understandable. Whereas when this happened, I was like, I don't understand that as much. So it kind of takes me a little bit out of it.
Hmm.
Where because making a scripted story feel real for the rest of the movie, it did feel really real. Okay, that's a normal reaction. That's a normal reaction. It feels like I'm watching a real story. When this happened, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm watching a movie right now. It's just for
Yeah,
a short scene, but it's something, you know.
yeah, which is fair. And I guess the only not pushback, but I guess the only thing I'd side with the writer slash director on is maybe that I don't know how I would react in that situation. Like we're talking
Yeah,
about,
you're
like
right.
yeah, I don't know. So I like it was like yeah, I can't relate. It's a moment I can't relate to this character, so I don't know what the reaction would be. So I guess there is that.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Mm.
And it does raise an interesting question too, where she's like, yo, maybe I'd call the police. But like, what are the police gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, hey, this person planned a mass shooting 15 years ago, and they didn't do it. Then the police would be like, okay, like maybe they, would they do anything? I don't actually know. And it's interesting because Charlie even asked that question when he's talking to Mike and Rachel. He's like, there's got to be lots of people that thought of it and did it. Like, think about it, right? It happens all the time. So Emma's not the only one out there, and we see a couple visuals of just random people walking around, and like you think about, it's an interesting question. Like it's true. There's got to be people that thought about doing it and didn't do it, which is just crazy to think about.
No, 100%. And I was thinking where it that thing when you're balancing it between different crimes, like we were talking about like violent crimes versus like if someone was like, oh, like yeah, what's the worst thing? Like, oh, I did plan to like kill my coworker, but I ended up doing it. You'd be like, whoa, like that we're
Yeah.
done right now. That's that for whatever reason, a mass shooting versus one person you plan on killing. I'm like, that seems way more crazy.
Damn.
And I was like, for whatever reason. So I don't know why. I don't know if
It
you
just
feel
seems more like personal, like cold blood kill. Like a mass shooting almost feels like I'm just like going on a killing spree. I'm just like crazy. Whereas like, no, I want to kill this person specifically. Feels more like personal and creepy.
yeah, but I mean sometimes they have names. So is that almost like they got like five people that like I'm going after, and then it's
Yeah.
whoever's in the wreckage you also will get done. But yeah, no, it is. it is a wild thing to think about.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, it could be anybody. Like everyone's on almost. But to your point though, before you move on, the calling the cops thing though, also like I was thinking that too. I was sitting there with Eloise and I was like, what would the cops do? Because it's one of these things where it's like the person could deny it, like, oh, the person was gonna play. It's like, is this actually true? It's like you'd lie to the cops, probably like no, or you'd say yes, but like there's no proof. So it's
Yeah.
15 years ago. Do they put you on a list where it's just like, well, do we? Okay, like you telling me you're calling the cops because this person planned something 15 years ago, but they
Yeah.
didn't do it? What do you
Yeah.
want me to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just a weird thing that maybe they wouldn't do anything. I literally have no idea. Um, so then we get to the wedding. This is really good. Like I felt uneasy the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Like because we know there are people there that know about Emma's past. Misha's there with her boyfriend, and we know what just happened with her and Charlie. They're being super awkward. You know, she goes to the bathroom. She thinks she hears Misha say, so like, did Rachel tell Misha? Like, we just don't know who knows what. Rachel's gets up to do her speech. I'm just like, what is she going to say? What is going to happen? The wedding is just fireworks, dude.
Yeah. Oh, the Rachel speech was tough, man. I was like, oh man, why did they let her talk, man? Come on, Mike. You gotta put your foot down, man. Mike was getting pushed around the whole movie, which which again, you're not trying. Your wife's mad at someone else. You're not trying to get on her bad side too.
Right.
But damn, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
no,
then-
I loved it
or
too.
go ahead.
Just because the unpredictable. No, yeah, I was gonna say I just loved it. I also loved it too, just because how unpredictable it was. I had no idea what was gonna happen. I just knew fireworks were coming, but I just didn't know where they were coming from.
Yeah. Well, and then so Emma and Charlie go into the room, and then Misha comes in the room, immediately spills the beans. What the hell, Misha? Like, this? I hate when people do this in movies, and like, I'm not saying this isn't something that I didn't like about this movie. I'm just saying, like, in general,
Yeah.
when characters do this, I'm just like, why do you come in and immediately be like, no, I know this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. Like, wait, ask them, why am I here? Why would you do that? Come in and just spill the beer. Like, come on, Misha.
Like, you think Charlie wants to blow up? He's about to blow up his spot on the wedding day?
Crazy.
Like, what are the chances of that? Like, as they're at the wedding, that he'd be like, you know what? I gotta come clean. Like this, if he was gonna come clean, it probably should have been beforehand or
Exactly.
after. But yeah, her to just come in the room and just start going. You're just like, yo, what? Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
then he comes out, he's giving his speech, and he's just fumbling it. Hilarious. Where he doesn't know what to say. She was gonna talk, and then she's like, nope. So Mike's like, oh, okay, groom's gonna go. He's fumbling through his speech. He doesn't know what to say. He's like, no, you know what? I love her. I don't care if you would have killed somebody. And we have great sex. And like, he's just, it's crazy. Crazy speech.
Yeah, that was a great callback to the beginning too. Of like, don't say that part. Don't talk about having sex with your family in front of your family.
Her dad just looks at him like,
yeah,
yeah, great. And then Misha's boyfriend, wait, because we hear them in the background, like, wait, he did what to you? He did you kiss him back? Blah blah blah. He comes walking straight. Everyone, the gasps, the audible gasps, and then he's just walking straight at him. Props to Charlie though; he didn't flinch at all, bro. He stood his ground. Because this is a big dude. This guy's just walking straight for him. I thought he was gonna like back up a little bit. He didn't move an inch. Respect to you, Charlie. You got headbutted for it, but hey,
yeah. I assume I will give him his props. I assumed he didn't think he was going to get headbutted.
Yeah. You never expect a headbutt.
You're never expecting a headbutt. Maybe a punch, and you're thinking like, okay, maybe I could dodge it. But like, he's not going to punch me on my wedding.
Yeah.
He's going to headbutt me. That was crazy, him coming and be like, did you sexually assault her? I'm like, what? That's what you were told? That's not what happened here. Like,
no, you're right.
That is not what happened. Clarified.
Yeah.
She was willing. She was ready to go.
Yeah, but she's not going to say that to her boyfriend.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? Yeah, she was, because you're right. That was, yeah, she turns around, pulls her skirt up, and then she's like, oh, well, we're not doing this? Oh, okay. All right, well,
exactly.
Let me just pick up my buttons, put my shirt back together, and let me get out of here. Because you're right, she was down.
Yeah. After she just told the story, what's the worst thing you ever done? Cheated. And then she's about to do it like 5 minutes after telling the story. I'm like, all right, damn, Michin.
Well,
Or
maybe
Misha.
that was Charlie's plan the whole time. He's like, "What's the worst thing you did? You cheated? You want to do it again?"
I was thinking that too, where I was like, dog, that's crazy. Someone just told you they cheated in the past, and then you you jump on that 5 minutes later.
Yeah,
Crazy work, Charlie. Crazy
crazy.
work.
And then the final scene that was set up earlier in where they talked about, oh, you know, you go to diner after your wedding, and it's funny because Charlie's like, oh no, I'm not gonna go to the diner like this. You know, like you said, they set up earlier that he fixates on everything, so like he just seems more like stand up and like, no, this is my wedding, I want to be proper, I wanted blah blah. And she's like, no, just go get a burger at the diner, like, so I like that that's set up. And I found it funny too that she said earlier in the movie, she's like, oh, you know, like people do at the Oscars, you know, they're all dressed up and they go. And Michael B. Jordan just did that.
Yeah, I was thinking that
best
too.
Actor. I was like, oh, this is kind of funny.
Which I didn't realize that was like a tradition, and now it makes sense why he did it. It's like, okay, I got to go do the thing. He's got to go to a fast food place after you win an Oscar, walking with your Oscar. I didn't even realize that was a thing. But that is funny, just the timing, especially when this movie came out. Like we're just post like 2 weeks out of the Oscars.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have anything else before we get to the film, or do you have anything else to say about that scene?
Well, specifically about the ending scene, there was a small part of me until like she sat down and then it was like they were having a discussion where I thought he was like imagining it. You know, I thought it was like a down bad moment, and he just saw. Sometimes you get those movies. You know, someone's like wearing like a similar colored thing, and it's like, is that her? And then you look back again, it's someone else. I thought that's what that scene was going to turn into. I didn't actually think she was going to show up. I thought it was just going to be like I didn't know exactly how I didn't think we are gonna get a, like ambiguous ending. I was like Emma just ran away and no one ever found her again. But I didn't think in that moment she was gonna walk in.
It was gonna be Misha.
No, I didn't think that. I just thought he was gonna be in like this, still in because the movie did a good job of giving us these things that he was imagining that didn't happen. Like when he was all around the city with the Emma as a kid version.
Yeah,
like that didn't actually happen, or just like him imagining her with a gun. So I was like, okay, maybe this is another one of those moments where he's wishing she walked in that door. Where it's like, oh man, I wish she walked in that door and just said, oh, everything's gonna be okay. Let's just start over. But then that didn't actually happen. Maybe it didn't actually happen. Maybe the ending is an imagination. Some Inception.
Right.
It's a
spin the top and like, yeah, what's the question?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what's the answer?
It's the question. Yeah. Did he really see Emma at the end?
You're right.
I don't think it's that kind of movie, but
no. But I like that they ended on like a positive. I think, you know, like they're gonna start over. They're gonna, you know, try again or try get through this or just forget whatever happened, or, you know, who knows? We'll find out in the drama too. But the I think the whole movie is you're feeling uneasy and you're feeling negative about it, even though they have like this comedic tone to it. You're still like everything's still dark, like Rachel's super mad and they're still like awkward with each other, and then the whole wedding blows up. Like you feel bad for Charlie. And I think if this ending is just him alone, then you'd walk out of that movie like, damn, that kind of sucks. Like, not that the movie sucks, but like I just feel shitty. So like the fact that they like there's all this negativity, you just feel bad and all this, and then they ended on a positive, I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, no, I do too. I agree. I think it is a good way to end the movie, like on a beat, and just like have a callback of like you want to start over. Like it's good a perfect setups. Button. Yeah,
it was good. Good ending. You have anything else?
I think that's it. I mean, the only other thing I have left is I have a game, but I don't know if you have any other points on the movie before we.
No, I'm good.
Before we hop into the
let's
game.
Play a game.
You good?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's get into a game. So, the game I got for you is basically guess the actor, but it's the Zendaya and Robert Pattinson edition. And basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you questions, and you just have to tell me if it's Zendaya or if it's Robert. As we established that we're just going to call him Rob. Is it Zendaya or is it Rob?
Okay.
I got 4 questions for you. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. All right. So the first question I have is, who has been in more franchise movies, Zendaya or Rob?
More franchise movies total, or like more franchises?
Who's been in more franchise movies? I feel like this is a perfect balance for them because they've both done their franchise
this is a good
work.
question.
So it's a
You're
good
right.
question.
Zendaya's got the Spider-Man movies. Rob was in a Harry Potter movie. Rob was in Twilight. He's now going to be in Dune. Am I missing anything else? Batman. I don't know if that counts. Zendaya. What other franchise movies has she been in other than Spider-Man? Oh, Dune. I'm going with Rob.
Okay. I'll give you the answer. I guess I'll give you the answers at the end. Unless you want to. Okay. Do you want to know them as we're going through? Or just go at the end?
No, we'll do it at the end. The end always works.
We'll do it at the end. I get with this one. It really comes down to like how many of those movies are there? Because there might be more franchises on one side. I'm not trying to sway you, but I'm just explaining it in that sense. But
You're right.
Next question: who's been in more A24 movies, Zendaya or Rob?
Rob's been in The Lighthouse, I believe is A24. I actually could be wrong about that. I don't know. This one, well, that is also Zendaya. What other A24 has she been in? I'm going Rob again.
That's the question.
This is just a guess. I'm going Rob.
That's the question. Okay. Who's been or who's done more voice acting, Zendaya or Rob?
Zendaya.
Okay. And last, who has been in more Netflix films, Zendaya or Rob?
Gosh, I don't even know.
Netflix. I didn't know these, to be honest. I didn't know these were Netflix movies until I looked at their catalog.
There's multiple. Like, okay, shoot.
Well, someone's got to have more, so.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it could be 1-0.
That's true. It's not 1-0.
I guessed Rob, Zendaya. So in the essence of 50-50, I'm just going to guess Zendaya. Because I really don't know.
All right, so you got... Wait, what did you say for the voice actor again? Who did you go with?
Zendaya.
You went with Zendaya, right? Okay. So you got 3 out of 4.
Hey,
you got
not
3
bad.
out of 4. That's not bad at all. So I'll recap. Franchise movies. Zendaya's in 3 Spider-Man movies and 2 Dune movies. Rob's in 5 Twilight movies, 1 Harry Potter movie, and 1 Batman movie. So he just squeaked over.
I nailed it.
Yeah, you nailed it. For A24 movies, Rob is in Good Time. He's in High Life. He's in The Lighthouse. And he's in Drama. So is Zendaya. Zendaya's only been in 1 A24 movie, and this is the one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, nice.
For voice acting, Zendaya's been in 3 voice acting movies, and Rob's been in 0. Okay. You've probably never heard of these voice acting movies. She was in, one of them you've heard of. She was in Duck, Duck, Goose, which I don't know if you ever heard of. It's a kid's movie.
Nope.
She was in Smallfoot. I don't know if you ever heard of that movie.
Is that a Yeti
movie or something?
Oh, Yeti.
I think it's like Yetis or something like that.
Okay.
I'm
thinking Littlefoot from freaking Land Before Time.
Land Before Time, yeah. And then Space Jam, the new Space Jam movie. She was Lola Bunny. But Rob's never done voice acting.
She's gonna be in a Shrek movie too, isn't she? Isn't she the?
Oh, that's true. But it hasn't come out yet.
Kid or something? No,
yeah, she's gonna be Shrek's kid. Yeah, because even with these, then I could have added in the more Dune movies and the next Batman that's coming out, and so I just did only the things that they've done and that are out.
That's fair.
And then the last one, Netflix film, Zendaya has only been in 1 Netflix movie, which is Malcolm and Mary. And Rob's been in The Devil All the Time, which is, it's not his main movie. It's actually a Tom Holland movie. So it's kind of fun connection there, actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then he was in The King, which is just Timmy's movie, but he happens to be in it. So those are the 2 Netflix movies, which I didn't even realize he was in those movies.
Damn. I was thinking too, because I was like, okay, I'm going to go 50-50. So that's why I guess Zendaya. But I was like, he might have just, like, that's a stupid way to make a guess. I mean, whatever. Damn.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a guess. Is there a stupid way to make a guess? Because it's a guess.
Yeah, you're right. Is there a stupid way? No, maybe not. I don't Oh, well. Hey, 3 for 4. I'll take it.
Still got 3 out of 4. Yeah, exactly. 3 out of 4 is good. That's good. Yeah. But that's all I got. That's the end of our game. But
time for
that's
the Filmmies,
it. I think it's time. It's time for the Filmmies. Yes, it's that time of the show. It's time for the Filmmies, and this is the part of the show where we give out 6 awards to the movie we just watched. Scott teased a little bit earlier when he said it's time to get into the Filmmies. Now we're actually in the Filmmies. And the first award that we have is our Ferris Bueller. So the Ferris Bueller's award we give out is our AKA our Lazy Award we give out to someone or someone that could be in the cast or behind the scenes that they did something that we deemed as lazy. Usually just something funny that we wanted to point out. So Scott, who gets your Ferris Bueller award?
I gave it to Emma's dad. Very simple. Just like horrible gun security. Like it's so easy for her to get this gun. She's walking around the backyard. She's making videos. And in his speech, he's like, "Oh, this gun, it mysteriously disappeared after she became an activist." Like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? You're a military guy. Like, you gotta. This is important. Like, have some better security on your gun. Like, lock it up. What is he just on the kitchen table? Come on, man. Easy ward.
It's a great Ferris, and like it's not my Ferris, so you don't have to hover over the button. But it literally was my initial one. I wrote that down, and then as I thought about it, I erased it. But that literally was my verbatim, my exact reason. So I 100% agree with you on that being lazy, because I was like, "Come on, dog, what are you doing?"
So irresponsible. Like we see the one in the flashback. There's like a shot, like they give her some money for food. Like, so I guess if he's in the military, maybe he's not home a lot. So her mom was working or something. Like, sure, you're already like, you're busy, sure, but like, so leave your daughter home alone with no security on your gun is just irresponsible, lazy, terrible.
100%. Get it together. Just for so many reasons too. Just even in the sense of like, obviously you'd like to trust your own kid, but not even her doing something like in a sinister way of like, oh, I gotta lock up my stuff because maybe my kid's a school shooter. You wouldn't think like that, but like maybe they'll just do something stupid. Like she'll have friends come over because we already know that like, okay, well, I'm gone, mom is gone, there's all this free time. Maybe she'll have some friends over just because that's what teenagers do, and they might fuck around and someone might hurt themselves, and I'll feel stupid because the kids were just playing around with my gun that I made so easily accessible. You know what I mean? It could even just be that.
100%.
Come on, Pops.
Terrible.
Pops. I actually ended up giving my my Ferris to Charlie.
Okay.
And it ties just kind of like into the very like beginning of the movie where it's like, for not at least getting into the spark notes on the book that Emma was reading. Like, if you're going to commit to that bit of like, you didn't actually read it, you just like read what the book's about. You didn't think it was going to come up on the date or ever again. Like, just to be safe, let me at least, I don't got to read the book. You don't got to go into like, let me listen to the audiobook quickly. Literally just get the spark notes. Like, what are the main points that can get me through talking about this book? And then I can change the subject quickly. Like, I don't really like it that much, so I don't want to talk about it. But at least to know the ending, at least. Come on, Charlie.
Yeah, like some main characters. Like you could. That's a great point. I didn't think of it, but you're like, even like he takes a picture. He Googles the thing. Like, what did he check? He Googled it to see, yes, this book exists. Like, what do you mean? Who cares? Like, what did you actually look for? Like, the whole point of Googling it would think would be to be like, okay, like kind of at least give me an idea of, because he kind of just comes over and he's like, I really like this book. It's really good. Like, you didn't have to Google it to say that. You could have just said that. Like, what was even the point of Googling it if you weren't going to actually look into it? Great point.
That's my point, where it's just like, yeah, what was the whole point for even looking it up? Because you didn't do any kind of research on it. It wasn't like we got this cutscene of him like just like briefly looking through all this stuff. Like, okay, now I feel like I can talk about this. You can't even talk on it
at all. Yeah, she's like, oh, what did you think of the end? You're like, oh, it's good. Yeah, because the mirror thing, right? And he's like, come on, bro, you got to know something. Like, he even says to Mike, he's like, no, I didn't read the book. I thought that'd be weird. What? That doesn't make any sense.
You really lied to her. Like, that's kind of the weird part. You did the weird part. You pretended to read the book, and now actually reading the book would be the weird part.
Yeah, like even like when he first walks into the coffee shop and he's just kind of like looking over his shoulder, like staring at her. I was like, this is kind of like this. like when that first happened, like, does he know her already? Like, why is he so like? I get it, she's Zendaya, you know, like, oh, that's a good looking girl. Like, I want to go talk to her, but like, he's really weird about it. As soon as she gets up, go take a picture. Like, he's doing some weird, creepy stuff, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, him saying that, like, oh, that'd be weird to actually read the book. I'm like, that's the least weirdest thing that you did in these 24 hours of meeting her. But yeah, that's where my Ferris Bueller goes to Charlie. That's Sorry, good. Charlie. Next we have is fit check. So self-explanatory. What was your favorite or worst fit of the movie?
I gave it to I actually don't even know if this is my favorite or my worst, but it's, to be honest, it's just the most like memorable. It's just something that stuck with me. It's Emma. It's just the wedding dress and orange coat combo. Like, it really pops. Like, you know, like we first see her like running out of the wedding venue with it. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool coat. And then she comes back into the diner after with it, and it's just like glowing orange, and she's in a wedding dress, and it's just like, like, I just imagine seeing someone out in the street like wearing a wedding dress and a bright orange coat by herself, and I just be like, what is the story here? Like, why are you here? Why are you in a wedding dress? Like, it's more of an interesting fit. I don't even know if it's the best or worst. It's just my most interesting fit.
That's fair. And I didn't even realize until later when I was like looking at posters for the movie that is in one of the posters.
Same. It's her and it's Rob all bloodied up. I was like, I'm glad I didn't see this. This is kind of a spoiler just in the poster.
That's what I'm saying. I did not see that spoiler until after the movie. I'm like, wow, thank God. This is like, I mean, the Emma thing, it's like, what is that? It's not really giving anything away. But Rob being all bloody, and then I'm like, okay, something's going to happen to him. I'm expecting he's in his suit all bloodied up, but
exactly.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But Scott, you can hover over the button now because that's my fit check.
Okay, nice work. I gotta find a more discreet way of like clicking that button so that I don't
just have your hand like this the whole podcast. Okay. Just always have it over the button. Just accidentally click it as I'm like mid point talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Up to my general
in a very
thoughts
serious
here,
moment too. In a very serious, you're like, man, you know, this really stuck with me because my cousin got shot in a mass shooting, and you know, I really didn't feel for Rachel.
But no, I all the same reasons. Like sometimes, like you watch movies but you watch movies from the past and like you remember like, oh, that's like an iconic fit from this movie. I'm imagining that's just gonna be kind of something you remember from this movie.
Yeah.
You're not gonna remember. You'll remember a lot of the plot, obviously, but like as far as like what people are wearing, certain movies, it's like this is high praise to put it in this category. But like I'm thinking like Kill Bill yellow suit. This is her Kill Bill yellow suit. That's the most memorable thing you remember that character wearing in the movie. If you had to pick something, it's gonna be that orange.
I guess I would. The only other thing that I would give to the character is like, when she's sitting in her room making the videos and she got like this camo jacket on and like the mascara on her eyes and the braids, like she looks pretty tough, but not more than this wedding coat combo. It's hard.
Which is why I was certified fit.
Did you think she just stole that coat from someone? Like, did she show up to the wedding in that coat? Like, whose coat is that?
That's a good question. Yeah, we never see it beforehand, which it's not that big of a deal. No, we need to see it beforehand, but yeah, did she just grab the closest coat and then just get out of there?
Yeah. Someone leaving from that wedding is like, what the hell? Where's my jacket?
That would be like a nice, like, just like it didn't need to be there. It's like a stupid thing, a little cut.
Yeah.
The hell's my orange jacket?
Like a post-credit scene? Just some guy like.
That's where that'd be the perfect. The DJ. It's the DJ.
It's the DJ. You see
taking this.
This is all it is. He's got like orange snow pants, orange hat, orange mitts, everything, and he's just like looking around.
Yeah. You don't even have to say it. Yeah,
exactly.
It's established. It's like, oh, he's missing the.
She took his coat.
There we go. That's what we need. We need that post-credit scene now.
Yeah,
do it up.
Yeah.
Everyone, come back to set just for the film. Just this one thing.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
So next award we have is quote, our favorite quote, best quote. So another self-explanatory award. Who gets your best quote?
I gave it to Emma. I have a runner-up, so I'll let you go, and then I'll just let you know so I can get that in after. But I give it to Emma, and she says this multiple times, and it's just, do you live around here? It's the perfect. It's the setup. It's like it's kind of like flirty and fun at first when she does it for the first time because it's just like, oh, do you live around here? Like, yeah, I just live upstairs, whatever. But then she does it, when they try to have sex, and then he's like, she tries to do the restart thing, and he's like, no, Emma, don't do this, and she's committing to the bit. She's like, what do you mean? Who's Emma? Like, what is? Do you work? What do you do for work? Blah, blah. She's really going for it, and it doesn't work in that scenario. So like we see it work the first time, it's just kind of fun, and then we see it not work, and then we see it one more time at the end, and it's just so earned and it's set up so perfectly, and then at the end we just understand exactly what it means that she's like, okay, forget what just happened. We're restarting. I love you and we'll get through this. Loved it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a really great quote and a great pick. Sorry, not it's not certified, but yeah, her saying that throughout, which I kind of forgot that. Actually, no, I didn't forget that she said at that point because yeah, I thought you were adding another. She says what, twice, three times?
I think three times. I feel like I remember three times. I feel like she says it the first time.
Well, you want to start over is something that gets said more, but maybe just the "Do you live around here" was only the time after that they tried to have sex.
Yeah,
and
maybe
then
it
it
was
coming
just
that,
after that.
and then coming back. But it's still good because, like, again, it's a nice little callback where then you immediately know what she's doing. We're like,
Yeah, exactly.
oh, okay, that's why I think it's great in that sense. But it's a
Right.
great pick.
Yeah,
It is funny too because we both went with Emma for the fit check, and then you're going her with the quote. But it's funny because I wrote Zendaya instead of just putting Emma.
Oh.
I'm just so established into her being this one name entity that even her characters are just Zendaya. I'm like, wait, why did I write Zendaya? Like, it's Emma's fit, but whatever. I also did give my quote to Emma, but I wrote Zendaya also.
Yeah.
But it's not the same quote. And it's I went the funny route, and it's when they were talking about the DJ that they saw doing heroin in the street, and they were like, she really started doing heroin in the street, and her response was, well, she wasn't on the street, she was like at a party. It's like, no, she wasn't.
Yeah, it was so funny. It's like, because if you say someone like they're on the street, you feel like they're homeless in an alley, like under a dumpster or something. Like she was just like outside on the street. So like I understand the sentiment, but you're right, it sounds so funny.
Yeah. But I'm like, yeah, I guess she kind of was. I mean, I don't know if they was at a party. They was outside a building. They could have stopped, like, let's just stop in front of this building and do it here. Like, we don't actually know if she was at a party. It seemed like a group activity, which, does that make it better? It's like, okay, well, I saw them doing heroin in a group. At least they weren't by themselves.
Yeah, I feel like that is better. I feel like, like if you see someone, like, even just like getting drunk, if you just get drunk by yourself, it's like, maybe that's not the best thing to do. But if you do it socially, then even though you're like, at the end of the day, it really doesn't change anything. But
no,
I feel like
heroin is, as they were saying too, that it's the big jump.
You're right.
Of like, well, this is heroin. This isn't just a drink. Because even then, I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna judge this person. They got drunk by themselves as much as like they're doing heroin by themselves. That's a completely,
you're right. Yeah,
different jump. And it leads into a question that I was thinking about asking earlier. But like, would you fire your DJ if you saw them doing heroin?
No.
Is that
why? Why? Absolutely not. What does that have to do with what does that have to do with their DJing ability? If anything, they might be even better.
That's what I was saying too. I was like, well, I don't want you to be on during.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever you do in your own time, I wish I didn't see it, because now I'm like kind of looking at you a little differently. But I don't think that's gonna affect your DJing skills.
Yeah, like this is a transactional relationship. Like, you're here to play music at my wedding, and that's it. I'm not marrying you. I don't have to see you ever again. What does that have to do with anything? Absolutely not. I'm not firing my DJ.
That's what I'm saying. Would you say something though? Would you be like, hey, like, I saw you doing it. I don't care. I just don't do it at my wedding.
Tonight. Yeah,
just don't do it tonight. Would you even bring it up?
That's a good question, because maybe that's kind of the way because that's how it started, right? Emma was like, okay, I'm just gonna say something, and then she was like, oh, well, screw you, like, I didn't, and she starts denying it, and then she calls her a bitch and all this stuff. So like,
which, like, okay,
so it definitely gets elevated to her firing. She's not just like, okay, I'm gonna fire her, but would I say anything? Probably not. Whatever. Just play the music, man. You'll be fine.
Especially because it's so close to the wedding. They're doing a
Yeah.
lot of stuff very last minute. Like I've never planned a wedding. I don't know. Were you doing everything in the last week like that? That's what it felt like. They were
No.
doing everything in the last week.
Yeah, no, for mine, we had everything set up at that point pretty much. I spent like DJ, flowers, photographer, like all that stuff is already booked and ready to go.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, I want to see where you stood on that because like me and
You?
Eloise were
What
kind of
did you
like
say?
split on it too, where it's just like, well, I was saying that like I don't think I would have. I think I would have said something and been like, because I think it just weigh on me too much. Where I'd be like, I just hope they're not doing it at the wedding kind of thing, where it's just like, hey, I'm fine with it. Whatever you want to do in your free, like I'm not paying you outside of this. It's just like, just don't do
Yeah.
it during. If they lied to
Yeah.
me and be like, no, it wasn't me. Then I'd be like, call my wife a bitch. Like, hey, yeah, now
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, don't
done.
do that.
Yeah. Now I'm just gonna play a playlist. Fuck you, yo. Like insulting me and lying to insulting my wife and lying to my face. But
Yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was what I thought on that. But next award we have is
Oh,
our
sorry,
sixth
I got to
man,
run her up.
aka our Peyton.
I got to run her
Oh, you
up.
gotta run. Oh, my bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
you run our quote.
I didn't shout it. I wanted this just killed me, dude. This is the funny route. And it was just Charlie, but he's just like, everybody knows if you bring a pedo to a wedding, that's like bad vibes. Like just the delivery was so good, like so chill with it. That just killed me. Took me out. So good.
No, that was great. I twiddled with that too because like that's absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. That's a good one.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention that.
No, that's good. I'm glad you did because I didn't want that not to get mentioned because that was a hilarious part of the movie. Our next award, as I was saying, is our sixth man, aka our Peyton Pritchard Award, and this award we give out to someone who showed out in their small moment in the film. So, who gets your sixth man award?
Well, speaking so much about the DJ, my sixth man is the backup DJ. I mean, this guy just came in, was on fire. I mean, for one, like showing up last minute, like saving
Yeah.
the day, clutch it, love it. But he just comes in, he's like, oh, so what's the number one thing about being a DJ? Because it's not the music. No, you got to show up. You got to be here, man. And Charlie's just like, yeah, okay, like, go get set up, whatever. And he just keeps talking and talking. He just won't stop. He's like, oh, are you a gearhead? Oh, because I got a 17 X24000 here, and I got a L20 1703 with cables, and just saying all the dumbest things. He was just hilarious.
Oh my God, it was
and
great.
then in the middle of her dad's speech, the shot goes off again. And he's like, sorry, everyone. These are not the cables I asked for. It's just like, dude, shut up. He is hilarious. Love that guy.
No, yeah, he was great. And even the perfect cap on when he was talking to Mike about being a gearhead, and Mike's just like, okay. And then it just cuts to the next scene. It was just like, that got a big laugh in the theater too, because I was just like, yeah, clearly he's not a gearhead, bro. And you're just immediately going in.
Yeah, are you a gearhead? I don't care if you actually are, but I'm gonna tell you all the gear that I have here.
That's like, what I'm saying. Right, dude. No, he was great. He was definitely in contention. I didn't go that route, but like in weighing people that showed out in their small moments, I'm like, yeah, he definitely is in contention. It's a great pick. Who I end up going with Frances, who's the photographer.
Ah, okay, yeah, she was good too.
Great. And it's literally from the scene that we talked about, bro. It was just like, as we cut it, just like, I'll shoot you, I'll shoot your parents. I was like, oh my God, like I'm done. Like shit is so hilarious. And then because that wasn't in the trailer, we got the shots of like them being like, oh, smile like you be in real life, like that awkwardness, which that was funny. But the whole I'll shoot you, I'll shoot your parents. Like, I think that might have been the biggest laugh in the theater, to be honest. Like, because it was just so unexpected, and it was just perfect because how uncomfortable they were. I'm like, oh my God, like every time she said shot, it felt like a strike to Charlie's heart or a strike to Zendaya.
Yeah, that's the thing, is just because she kept saying it over and over, like, I'll shoot you, and then I'll shoot you, and then I'll shoot your parents, and then I'll shoot your grandparents, and then no shooting grandparents, like it just was constant over and over. And like, we know what that means to them. And the fact that it was just again and again and again, it was just so hilarious. Great pick.
Oh man, thank you, man. Yeah, it just works so well because it doesn't seem like, okay, someone doesn't make sense. Why is she saying it like that? What she's saying without that context is just completely normal. It's just completely normal.
Yeah,
But with the context, I'm like, oh man, that's just great. It's just great writing, honestly. That's just a
yeah,
great setup. It's just something
yeah,
so simple, but it's
100%.
hilarious. And I had to
So
give her
good.
6, man, because she showed out in that moment. And it was just all comedy
Yeah,
in that moment.
fantastic. Yeah, like you got to respect the because she, you know, the photographer doesn't know what she's saying out of context, but the actor does, right? So like
Yeah.
just knowing that she's like this is for laughs and just like going for it, committed to be like, yeah, biggest smile on her face, like, yeah, it's gonna best day of your life, right? I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna shoot you. That's so
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. Second last award that we have is best scene. So what is your best scene go to?
Mine goes to the final scene in the diner. I really like the end of this movie. Like I said, ending it on a positive when so much of the story is so like awkward and sad. Like I just love the whole can we restart thing. It's just it's set up so perfectly. Their very first meeting, then it doesn't work. You know, after they try to have sex, and then finally at the end again. Like it just so we see it work, not work, and then work again. It just perfect arc on like a bit, which is crazy. It's so good. I think the visually too. I think the color palette of this scene is so different from the rest of the movie. The rest of the movie is pretty like tame and kind of grounded. And then this one, like it's like the whole diner is like glowing blue, and then she walks in and her jacket is popping with this orange. Like it feels so jarring. And I don't obviously it was an intentional choice, but I wonder if it's meant to be like a fresh start kind of thing. Like, okay, this is like the drab of like what we just went through, and like no, now we got this life and this color, and like we're just gonna move forward from this thing, even though like he's all bloodied up and she's in this wedding dress and like, but I don't know, it just stuck out to me. But I love that final scene. This is it's I'll remember that last moment in the movie.
Yeah, no, it's a really great scene. And I think that's, to go to your point on like the color palette, I think that's part of the reason why I thought, I even questioned like, is this even real? Because
True,
in
yeah.
that moment it felt so dreamlike. It felt so different than the rest of the movie that I was like, oh, like is he just imagining this? And there was still even a part of me after she sat down, I was like, maybe it still is. Like, I want to see how far this goes. Like, is it going to be like this thing, and then like he looks away, and then she's actually not there, and he's like, "This is what I wish would happen. I wish he'd walk in there right now and say like, let's just start over." But that's not going to happen. And then maybe we get a different kind of ending. So like, I see your, I 100% noticed that too. Of like, it just looks so different. It's a
Yeah.
great scene.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I don't think it's I don't think it's a dream. I think it's
Yeah,
real. And I don't really even think it's meant to be like is it a dream or not, but like I do understand that like it could have been. Like if you're
yeah.
right there was a final shot of him looking across the booth and she's not actually there. That would have changed everything about the scene. But we don't see that, so I don't think that's what it is, but you're right, like the setup it definitely could have been that, and the color definitely adds to that. I didn't think of that, but it's a good point.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, this is a guy that did make a movie called Dream Scenario.
Mm,
So it's not completely left field of
you're
him
right.
doing some kind of dreamish kind of ending. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it was a dream, but my mind
Yeah.
was going there just based off how the look of it definitely emphasized me even
Right.
thinking that, where I was like, okay, maybe this is something. But
Yeah.
great
Yeah,
scene.
good point.
My favorite scene ended up going to the scene where they're at Rachel's work. So it's Rachel, Charlie, and Mike, and he's confronting Rachel after her basically saying that like she's not going to come.
Mhm.
And to me, it's getting that like real life perspective that we talked about earlier, where you mentioned how it's like, hey, it could be anybody. You know what I mean? Like it could be, you never know, the people walking around. And it's a moment that I use an example, which I liked, how we talked about how it's not like ex- exposition dumps where like then they just explain things, but also giving us the visuals. So it's kind of cool, even him saying that, and then kind of like showing people in the street and all that stuff. So I thought that was like a cool perspective of adding. It's like this moment of like this movie is comical, and it also has these moments where it's like, oh, like, think about that. Like we
Mhm.
have these moments of empathy, but then we get the humor. Like we talked about how it really balances that, and I think this scene does that well.
Yeah.
With just having that balance.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a really good point. I think, and there's some funny moments in it too. You know, we talked about like when Rachel looks over to Mike and be like, "Oh, well, you grew up around guns and everything." And he's like, "No, I didn't." So like it's got
Yeah.
all of that stuff all in the same scene. That's a really good point. Like just the balance of everything in there, like a real world question of like, think about it. Could be anyone. Could have happened to lots of people. But I think for me, like I just couldn't give any scene with Rachel in it. I hated
That's
Rachel. She
fair.
sucked.
Well,
Dude.
you know,
I couldn't give her a
another reason
scene.
I did like the scene is because Charlie got to throw the shit back at her and being like, "You
Okay.
threw a mentally disabled kid in the closet." And I was like, "Get her ass.
Yeah.
Let's go. Get her
Nice.
ass. She's so
Okay, you're right.
judgmental. What about what you did?"
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
She
another reason I
actually
liked
did
it.
that.
Yeah,
Emma actually didn't do the thing.
that's what I'm saying. You did what we did was awful. That's awful, man.
Freaking
She's
Rachel.
lucky he survived. You could lock someone in a closet. How much air can they get?
Yeah, I don't know.
This dude could have died in, like within hours.
For whatever reason, I'm picturing this closet with like those shutters. So like
Like it's a locker.
no. Well, I guess kind of, but like the whole door is like shutters, so it's like like if, in movies like when someone's stuck in a closet and they're kind of like looking through those shutters at whoever's in the room, like something like that, so like he could breathe. But you're right, it could be a full door.
I assumed it was a full door because those kind of shutter closets, I feel like you can just break through. Like I feel like I can just kick that. If it's just
As a
wood,
kid, though.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know more than me, but how strong? You don't think a kid could break through like those? Aren't they pretty thin? Those kind of closets with like the wood.
I mean, they can
like,
be. I mean, they can be thin or they can be thick. I don't know. But she
I
also
guess
like
true.
it was like in this tree house in the woods or something. Like, how did this? So
Yeah,
it probably was pretty flimsy if it were to be a shutter door. So you're probably right. It's probably a full door. For whatever reason, I pictured these shutters, but
yeah, I didn't picture a shutter door for whatever reason. For whatever reason, I felt like a full door. I'm imagining this kid in like a dark room.
Yeah,
basically.
No, you're probably
That's one thing they didn't show. That was like all the flashbacks we got. We didn't see that. We also didn't see the dog. The Mexico scene either. The dog.
Yeah, Mike and Rachel, they don't get any flashbacks. Only Charlie and Emma do. Stay in your lane. Side characters.
Exactly. Stay in your lane. But last, but certainly not least, we got our MVP. So who gets your MVP, Scott?
Kristoffer Borgli gets my MVP. Like I mentioned, I had a couple issues with the writing, but there was a lot of good in this. Directing, I loved. Like you talked about the visualizations of like Charlie seeing Emma with guns and young, like being around the city with young Emma, her imagining him leaving, the dark comedy and grounded feel of the direction was just like, I just didn't expect this coming in. Like I thought I was getting more of a classic rom-com and it was going to be more like emotional. And I mean, it's definitely emotional as well, but like I just wasn't expecting this dark, like holy crap kind of movie. And the visual exposition at the start that I talked about, like I just think that was such a great idea to not just have it a narration or like a dialogue given exposition dump. Like we get to see them actually going through it, so like we learn so much about these two characters and their relationship in such a fun way. Like he just made so many great choices in this movie and he's my MVP.
It's a great pick, Scott. Hover over that button.
Let me get to that button and certify that
he's also my MVP. And
very nice.
Again, basically everything you said, just to regurgitate. I don't want to regurgitate everything you just said, but great concept. I don't know how much control he had on protecting that hook, but whoever idea it was and whoever sat on that, thank goodness. Because I think the movie could have been interesting if that hook was revealed. Because it's like, what would you do in this situation? You can kind of market it like that, but I think it works so well of just like not giving us that hook, revealing it in the. Now I see what you're talking about with that trailer. Because you mentioned that the trailer is like, oh, I know when it happens. I never ended up seeing that trailer, so I didn't know it was going to happen in that moment. Okay. So did that end up bothering it for you? You did mention that, like, oh, I wish I didn't.
Yeah, no, it actually didn't. So yeah, there's what Dion's talking about. There was like a second trailer they revealed that kind of showed the Emma, Charlie, Mike, and Rachel sitting at the dinner table and like talking about what's the worst thing you ever did, and then it got to Emma, and then it like cut. So like. So I understood, okay, in this moment, the worst thing that Emma did, she's going to say it, and this is going to be what like throws everything off the rails. And honestly, it didn't really actually ruin anything about that scene, because once they already started talking about, okay, what's the worst thing you ever did, and then Mike tells his story and Rachel tells his story, to me I was already like, okay, this is when it's going to happen. Like I knew that from the trailer, but I feel like even if I didn't, I feel like it's almost kind of obvious at that point that like, okay, we're going to hear something crazy.
Yeah, you know what? For whatever reason, I didn't, again, maybe because I didn't have the context of seeing that trailer. I didn't think it was gonna happen in that moment.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was just gonna be like, this was gonna be like a fun thing, because the movie was kind of fun at that point. Everything was kind of jokes and playful, so I was like, maybe it's gonna happen later on, but this is just gonna be a moment where it's gonna have some laughs or whatever. For whatever reason, I didn't. But
that is interesting then. So maybe it would have. I mean, obviously, I can't know like what what my experience would have been had I not seen that. But like, did that make the reveal? So what was your like initial reaction when she first said that? Kind of like them, just like super shocked.
I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. I didn't think any of them was gonna react crazy. I didn't expect Rachel. I assumed it would have came from Charlie, and I was like, oh, Charlie didn't really care that much, so I guess it's not really that big of a deal. So, which begs the question: if the friends weren't there, would he have blown it up that much, or is it because the other people's reaction was like, okay, maybe I should be kind of weirded about this?
I think he probably wouldn't have reacted as much, because he's like, okay, you're about to be my wife. Like, there shouldn't be any secrets between us. You should be comfortable telling me anything. Like, because he's upset about that. He says to her later, he's like, okay, but yeah, like you said it in front of our friends. Like, why didn't you just, like, you didn't just tell me? Like, I feel like that would have been totally different. It'd be like, okay, he would take it as like a sign of trust. Like, I trust you enough to tell you this secret, versus I'm just saying this in front of our group of friends.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, the things I said that I liked about it was the style. I mentioned the flashbacks, the imagination, the skip back of like going in scenes. Like, I use the headbutt example where it's like, oh, he's about to get headbutted. Don't show it. Move forward. He's already bloody. Wait, what happened? Come back. Like, I just thought that was an interesting style. And that balance that we talked about of taking a serious topic, which I feel like it opens up a dialogue. Like obviously we're having a podcast, so we're doing a lot of dialogue on the movie. But for people that don't, I'm sure a lot of people that walked out of that theater would turn to someone and be like, "Would you fire DJ if that happened? Like, what would you do if you know what I mean?" Like, I'm sure that actually did open up a dialogue. So it actually is thought provoking in that aspect of it. And it talks about this serious topic without being preachy about it. Like, there's no one, like, there's no, at no moment of that, like, this is what you should do. You know what I mean? Or like, no one has like this moment where it feels like they're actually talking to the audience about like what you should do to prevent this. It's just like, it just opens up this conversation, which is like obviously a touchy and serious thing, but I just like how it isn't on the nose with that. With the topic.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't think the movie's preachy at all. And then, like I mentioned earlier, where I think a lesser movie would be preachy with Rachel and be like, this is a character that you're not supposed to like. The movie doesn't really do that. It just presents her as who she is, and then you could feel about her how you want to feel about her. We hated her, but there might be some people that are also like, yeah, you should be super pissed about this. Like, her cousin got shot by it, and maybe that's not why you should be pissed about it, but just the fact that she even thought about doing this, which is such a terrible thing to do, you should be super mad about it. So some people probably don't hate Rachel. So like, and because the movie's not telling you that you should. So I think that's what movies should do. They should just, give you the story, and then you decide how you want to feel about it. And it did that in multiple ways, which is, not always easy to do, because you got to make your characters interesting. You still have to have them like stand on something. And sometimes it could be hard to be like, okay, the characters making their point, but not making it to the audience and like painting them in a specific light.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just, it's obviously easier said than done, but it's having complex characters, them having their beliefs, but having like reasons for them, and not them just being like this flat thing of like, I'm just the angry person and you're not supposed to like me, and every time you see me, I'm just gonna be angry. But and like, you're not gonna really know why I'm so angry. It was like, okay, whatever, you're just the prick character, I guess.
Maybe
like, the characters aren't flat.
Maybe you should, if we're, because we didn't like Rachel because, well, I speak for myself. I didn't like Rachel mostly because it was like the cousin thing. She's like, oh, my cousin's in a wheelchair. And I'm like, okay, like that doesn't really, maybe if she was like, oh, my cousin died in a school shooting, like why not make that the thing where she'd be like that? I would be more understandably because about why you would be pissed at this. Like, hey, you actually lost someone. Like, yeah, obviously she still had to deal with this thing, but like she's still alive. Like, it's not the end of the world completely. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it would have been more. I don't know.
No, I 100% completely agree with you. And I felt the same way. And it's probably the same reason why I didn't like Rachel. But I think I was trying to like put myself like in that situation, which I kind of mentioned earlier, where I was saying that I'm assuming, because I don't know anybody that's been in that situation, that like your kid, cousin, whoever it is, was in a school shooting and they survived. Even though they survived, that's still like a thing that orbited your family for a while, where it was like a topic point for probably months and months and months. Maybe her cousin was someone that loved to play basketball and loved to play volleyball, and now she can't walk anymore. And it's like, damn, yeah, I can't. My cousin lost the ability to walk. We used to play hoops together, but now she can't walk because of a school shooting. So it's like, it becomes like this. The whole school shooting thing becomes a very touchy subject. And her best friend that used to come to the house all the time died. Like all that context doesn't get added into it. But I started imagining that's what the context is without actually just saying it all, giving us all this more and more information. We're like, no, you're supposed to stand with Rachel. Here's the more and more reasons why. I just imagine just like, that's the context that's not said, that's there. That like there's more to it with just, oh, well, my cousin survived a school shooting, but it's like, well, what was her cousin's life before? What's her relationship with her cousin? That's where I go with it. Where someone that maybe watches this movie and they actually have someone that survived a school shooting, they'd be like, oh yeah, I 100% agree with Rachel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I like that the movie doesn't tell you that you shouldn't like Rachel, because if there's someone that does like her, they're not necessarily wrong. They're just different.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Beauty well, there you have
it. A good movie.
Of a good, yeah, that's right. There you have it. Is that a triple certified? Double certified?
No, I think it's just 2. That'd be certified. Crazy. 3 triples?
3 triples. Hey, 2 triples and a double. That's not bad.
That's still pretty good.
No, we're cooking.
It's not bad.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We hope you enjoyed the drama. If you did, 5-star review for us would be very much appreciated. 5 guns.
Orange jackets.
Yeah,
I was trying to avoid going that route.
I know. That's the only thing in my head was just school shooting, and I was like, let's go a little bit positive. 5 orange jackets. Yeah, 5
orange jackets.
5-star review would be very much appreciated. It helps us out. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at the Film Room Pod. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Film Room Podcasts. Check us out. Next week, we will be back with another episode. But for now, Dion, take us out.
Before I say my and remember part, you could give us 5 headbutts. If you can headbutt 5 stars, just be like, okay. Yo, I headbutted this review. Do it.
Perfect.
If you want to just give the 5-star, then headbutt your keyboard 5 times and whatever it says, we'll be like, okay, this guy headbutted. Oh, you're a real one.
Yeah, and if you leave a written review, we will read it out on the podcast. So if it's a headbutt gibberish, perfect.
Appreciate it. And remember, a pedo at a wedding is not good vibes.
It's bad vibes.